Erev Shabbat Shalom to you all. My name is Rabbi Ebrahimoff, or Rav E. Delighted to be with you on this Kabbalat Shabbat, Parashat Vayeitzei. I have the privilege of serving as one of the tribe rabbis and also as rabbi of the Rabbi Sacks Legacy, as director of education for Rabbi Sacks Legacy. And I look forward to sharing some of the Torah of Rabbi Sacks today for Parashat Vayeitzei. But just before we start, it is such a special and emotional time for us, the Jewish people, on this afternoon as we bring in Shabbat and await with great anticipation for the safe return of our hostages. Never in my lifetime do I remember bringing in Shabbat with such anxiety and excitement. At the same time, we are sad to see that we are in such a vulnerable situation, but delighted to see that at this point in time, the Red Cross is holding 13 hostages who will hopefully be reunited with their families in the forthcoming hour. And maybe it is a reflection of our Parashat Vayeitzei, which means to go out, which means to leave. So many of our hostages have been waiting to leave Gaza and be reunited with their families in the state of Israel. And at this time, so many soldiers are also waiting to be reunited with their families and friends after a very long period of time of not seeing them and serving in the IDF. Indeed, I remember as an IDF soldier serving in South Lebanon, the longest period of time we ever served was 22 consecutive days, and that was considered to be a very lengthy period of time. For my son, Noam, and his friends serving in the Nahal in Gaza, they haven't been home or haven't been back to their home in Israel for well over 6 weeks, be more precise, 55 days. And the past month has been particularly difficult in Gaza. And receiving a phone call from him this morning was so very special, to hear from him just for a few minutes, to hear that he is okay, to hear that he is fulfilled, and also to hear that he will hopefully have 24 hours of leaving Gaza and going into his base during the ceasefire. So much is going on, such an emotional time, of time for prayers, a time for davening. Most importantly, I want to start with wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace. Never have these words been more meaningful than these crucial moments. Shabbat Shalom to Brenda and Jeffrey from Barkingside. Shabbat Shalom to family Flaum, to Lorraine. Lovely to see you again on this show. Shabbat Shalom also to Philip from Milton Keynes. Shabbat Shalom to Anthony Weinberg, and lovely to hear from you just around the corner here in Hendon. To Francis from South Woodford, I hope that you and your very dear family are all well at this difficult time. To Norma Levinson from Ilford, Essex, I know that it hasn't been easy for so many of you there and the family in Israel. Wishing you well, and indeed Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us today, Norma. To Sylvia Chait, good Shabbos, and thank you for joining us. Shabbat Shalom also to Kayla Moreno and family in South London. Hope you are all well there in South London, and look forward to visiting again soon. To Stan Cohen from East Finchley, wishing you as well a Shabbat Shalom to you and your wonderful, wonderful community. Had the privilege of visiting you just 2 weeks ago, and it was an uplifting Shabbat at such a difficult time. Keep the comments coming and the good wishes coming. We need them all, giving each other strength and giving each other the chizuk we need at this time, on this very special occasion, very special Shabbat of Vayeitzei. Some short divrei Torah on our parasha. So we hear that Jacob Yaakov Avinu was married to two women. The first one was Leah Imenu, and the second was Rachel. He was first married to Leah, and he was then married to Rachel. First question that comes to mind is, once he realized the mistake, why didn't he annul the marriage? Why didn't he turn back and say, well, actually, I intended to marry Rachel? But clearly, Leah loved him, and he clearly appreciated that. So he remains married to Leah and then works for another 7 years in order to marry Rachel. I just came back from quite an incredible lunch and learn in a wonderful school called South Hampstead High School. There were a group of about 50 girls in the room. One of the girls asked me, how was Jacob allowed to marry two women? Isn't that against Jewish law? And I explained that it's not against the original Jewish law. Up to about 80 or 90 years ago, it was done in Sephardi communities, and up to about 500 years ago, it was done in Ashkenazi communities. I thought that was a sufficient answer, and I explained that I come from a Persian heritage in Mashhad, and indeed my great-grandfather, most probably, as far as I know, had two wives. Little did I know, a young girl in year 8 puts up her hand and says, so did my great-grandfather. And I also originate from Persia, Mashhad, probably her great-great-grandfather in her case. And I asked her for her name, and it appears that she's my second cousin, never met her before, and it appears that my grandmother, Parry Ebrahimoff, had a brother called Kohanim, and that was her great-grandfather. So it's just incredible how the Jewish network works. I was very proud of the fact that I explained something about my family. Then this young lady explained something about her family, and we appear to be speaking about the same family. So Yaakov Avinu indeed marries two wives, but the main reason he does this is because Yaakov Avinu, because Jacob was really tricked by Lavan. It was deceitfulness which brought him to marry his second wife. Equally, it was deceitfulness which brought him to mourn the death of his son Joseph. And it was deceitfulness that brought him eventually to go down to Egypt and to live in Egypt until the end of his lifetime. And all this deceitfulness amounts to one occasion, which we learned about last week. The one occasion where Jacob himself was deceitful towards his father, towards Isaac. Now, he was deceitful in order to receive the blessing. Why did he do this? He did this because he could not possibly allow Esau to receive the blessing, and he therefore needed to be deceitful in order to receive it himself. However, the consequences, the ramifications were huge. Jacob then suffers from deceitfulness from his wife, suffers from deceitfulness from his children, suffers from deceitfulness throughout his life. And with all these consequences, I would expect our rabbis to say, well, here's a lesson to be learned. Never be deceitful. That is a lesson to be learned. We should always be truthful. However, Jacob had no choice. And none of the Mefarshim, none of the rabbis actually criticized him for it. So while the ramifications were huge, he doesn't seem to be criticized. He doesn't seem to be told, well, he shouldn't have done that, because he had no choice. And from here, we learn something extraordinary. Sometimes the decisions we make in life, personally, communally, and also as a nations, are decisions which have ramifications, are decisions that have consequences. The consequences can be significant. The consequences are huge, but at the same time, that doesn't stop us from making the right decision. The fact that there are ramifications to our actions doesn't mean we shouldn't be taking that action. The fact that there are consequences to our response doesn't mean we shouldn't be responding. I think it's a strong message for us to learn as Jewish people, and a strong message from our parasha, which reflects on our times. A few more Shabbat Shalom wishes from some very dear people who have joined us. So Shabbat Shalom to Roseanne, and it's lovely to see you. from Razan Solomon Shamash. Shabbat Shalom to you and your dear family. Good wishes and Shabbat Shalom and love to Nadine and Woodward from Jersey. Wonderful to have you on the show. Also wonderful to have Chris on the show. Wishing you all love from London. I hope that you celebrate this Shabbat in Jersey in a very special way, together with Am Israel throughout the country and the world. Shabbat Shalom to Shelley and Martin from Woodside Park. So it was just last Shabbat where I ran a program for the youth at Woodside Park. And I want to tell you, Shirley and Martin, that you can be extremely proud of your community, of your grandchildren. Be extremely proud of everything that you built in Woodside Park together with your wonderful rabbinical team. It was an absolute pleasure to join you for Shabbat. What a beautiful service, what wonderful youth, and so much to be proud of. Shabbat Shalom to Monique Pollins. I hope you are well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Let's start with Kabbalat Shabbat on page 405. Kabbalat Shabbat this week is from the tribe Koren Siddur. Start with the words Lechu Neranana. Please join me. Let's sing together and give each other strength as we welcome all those who have been abducted back to their homes to be united with their families. May these 13 who have been released today be the beginning of all abducted people returning to their families. And please God to peace in heaven and peace in the world and peace in Israel. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzurishenu nekadma panav betoda bizmirot nariya כי על גדול אדוני מלך גדול כל אלוהים משבר דמך יראי הארץ וטרפות הרים לו אשר לא הים בו עשר ויבשת עליו יצרו בואו נשתחווה ונכרע נברכה לפני אדוני עשינו כי אלינו אנחנו מראיתו רצון ידו היומים מקולו תשמעו אל תקשו לבבכם גמרי רק כמו עשיו במדבר אשר ניסוני אבותיכם בחלוני גמרו ופועלי 40 שנה אקוט בדור ויאמר אמרתי לבבהם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי באפי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי שירו לאדוני שיר חדש שירו לאדוני כל הארץ שירו לאדוני נאי ברך שמו בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו ספרו וגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני מהולל מאוד נורא הוא על כל אלוהים היה כי כל אלוהי עמים הלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה הוד והדר לפניו ותפארת במקדשו הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו ישתחו לאדוני בהדרת קודש חידלו מפניו כל הארץ דיברו וגויים אדוני מלך אהבתי כל תבל בעל תימות הדינמים במישרים ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלואו יעלוז השדי כל אשר בו איי אז ירננו כל הצייר בני אדוני כי היווה לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק וימים באמונתו ניי 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 ניי. Shabbat shalom to Lorraine Flaum. Shabbat shalom to Estelle Gaia. Shabbat shalom Borach to everyone in Chigwell, Estelle. I hope you are well and your community as well. Thank you, Nadine Woodward, for your beautiful Amen Selah. May all our prayers be answered. Amen Selah indeed. And a special Shabbat Shalom to Sandra Pollin. Regard to all the Pollins, and I look forward to celebrating together, please God, very soon as we unite in peace with 411 on Mizmor Shir Adonai Shir Chadash. Mizmor Shir Adonai Shir Chadash. כי נפלאות עשתה, הושיעה לו ימינו, וזרוע קודשו היה הודיע אדוני ישועתו, לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו, איי איי איי, זכר חסדו וימונס לבית ישראל. כל עושי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, פיצחו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה, איי איי איי, בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויבש ונהרות ימחאו חת, יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני, כי היווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים במי שערים. Oy oy, na 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 na. Adonai malach ירגזו עמים ישראל קרובים תנות הארץ. אדוני בציון גדול ורמו על כל העמים, יודו שמך גדול ונורא קדוש הוא, ועוז מלך משפט ההר, אתה כונן וישרים מצוות מצדקה ביעקב אתה עשית, רומם ועד אלינו שתחבו לאדם רגליו קדוש הוא, משה ואהרון בכהניו, ושמואל בקורא שמו, קוראים אל אדוני, והוא יענם ביעמוד ידבר עליהם, שמרו עדותיו, וכל כנעתן למו, אדוני אלוהינו, אתה נהיתם, אל נושא היית להם, ונוקם על עלילותם רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו. נשתחוו להקדשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. Page 415, מזמור לדוד. נהבו לאדוני בני אלים, איי איי, הבו לאדוני, כבוד ועוז. הבו לאדוני, כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני. ביעזרת קודש, איי איי, כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים. אדוני על מים, כל Adonai b'hakoach kol Adonai behadar ayai kol Adonai shover arazim meshaber Adonai tarzei alvanon vayarkidem כמוהגל לבנון סיריון כמו בן רהמי מייי כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש כל אדוני יאכיל מדבר איי יאכיל אדוני מדבר קדש כל אדוני חולל איילות ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו כולו אומר כבוד אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם איי אדוני יעז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום Hashem will give strength to his people and bless his people with peace. On page 417, there is a very special prayer. Beginning with the words, Ana bechlach gedulat yamincha tatir tzivora. Please, by the power of your great right hand, set the captive nation free. Our hearts have been captive in Gaza for the past 50 days. We have been worried and concerned and in prayer and anxious for our captives. And finally, we come to Hashem before this special Shabbat and say, by the power of your right hand, by your power, which is the right hand, Yamin Hashem Osachail, the right hand that controls the world, the power of Hashem to control us and control the world, the power of Hashem to bring peace to this world, set the captive free. Ana bechoach gedulat yamincha Tatir tzerura kabel rinat amecha sagvein tarein nora hoina gibor dor sheichdecha kevavat shomlem Barchem tarem rachamem tzidkatcha tamid gomlem chasin kadosh berov tuvcha nahel adatecha yachid ge'ele amcha penei זוכרי קדושתך, אוי שבתנו קבל ושמע צעקתנו. Accept our plea and listen to our cry, you who know all secrets and all secret thoughts. Hashem, you who knows exactly what it is we need to do and exactly how we need to act and how we need to respond. We ask for your guidance. We ask for your help. We ask for your mercy. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Lecha Dodi on page 419. Lecha Dodi Yai Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Dai Shamo Bezachar Bedibur Echad Ishmiyanu Ela Meyuchad Adonai Echad Ushma Echad L'Shem Tiferet Ve'Litihilal Echadi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat נקבלה, נאי נאי לקראת שבת לך ונבל חכי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה היי מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומיצי מתוך ההפך הרב שבט בימי קבחה והוא יחמול עלייכם ללך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה ברבם בם בם יזנרי מיפרקו מלשי בגדי תפארתך עמי על יד בן ישי בית הלך מקרבו אל נפשי גיילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה נאי התעררי כבערך קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך בגללך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתכחי ומה תהמי בכחסו עניי עמי אי ונבנתה עיר דילה נאי לקראת כלה איי פני שבת איי נקבלה והיו לבשיסה שוסייך אי ורחק כל בלעייך יחסיס עלייך אלוהייך כרסייס חסן על כלה נאי לך דודי איי לקראת כלה איי פני שבת איי נקבלה ימין שמאלתי פרויצי ויית אדוני תריצי על ידי שן פרצי אי ונשמחה ונגילה ממאי לך דודי איי לקראת כלה איי פני Shabbat, ay, and now we turn to the west, turn back to welcome the Shabbat as we welcome our hostages. How beautiful and special to be in a position to welcome Shabbat and to welcome all those Jews who have not been home for so long and now being reunited with their families as we unite with Shabbat Kodesh. היא בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, איי לך דודי, נאי לקראת כלה, איי פני שבת, איי נקבלה, איי לך דודי, איי קראת כלה, איי פני שבת, איי נקבלה. Thank you to the Woolmans for their hearts, good wishes and love. And a special thank you and Shabbat Shalom to Robin Abrahams from Newbury Park. I hope you are well and look forward, hopefully, to a beautiful Shabbat for your community and for Am Yisrael. Page 427, Mizmor Shir, Shir Leyom Shabbat, Mizmor Shir, Shir Leyom Shabbat. Everybody's singing, sing a song of Shabbat. Everybody's singing, Sing a song of Shabbat, Mizmor Shir, Shir Leyom Shabbat, Mizmor Shir, Shir Leyom Shabbat Tov, Leodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך עליון להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלינו ולילגות מכינו כי שמחתן ידיים פועלך מהסדר הגנן מר גדלו מעשיך אדוני מעודם כמחשבותיך איש בר לא ידע וכסיל לא הבין את זאת בפרוח השם כמו עשי ועציתי כל פלה ונשם דם הדעת ואתה מרום לעולם אדוני כי נאיבך אדוני כי נאיבך יובד התפרדו כל פלה אבן ותרם קרן קרני ולא תבשם רמן אדוני בשירי קמים אליי מרים תשמע האוזני צדיק אתה יפרח כי ארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני בחצות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני היצורי ולא עברת תבוא. Finally, on page 429, Adonai Malach Yud Lavesh Adonai Osit Azar אהבתי כל תבל, פעלתי מאוד נכון כסך מאז מעולם אתה נשאו נערות אדוני נשאות מולם יישאו נערות ודוחיים מקולות מים רבים אדירים משברי ים העיר במרום אדוני עדוי תחנם נמונות בבית חנה והקודש אדוני לאורך ימים. Thank you for joining me for this very special Kabbalat Shabbat. It was an absolute privilege to be here with you at this unique time for the Jewish people in Medinat Israel and around the world. May we, Be'ezrat Hashem, see redemption and peace, and may this Shabbat truly be a Shabbat Shalom. Goodbye.